They sailed on during World War II. The Coast Guard warned them it was too dangerous. They think they'll get home next week. When we come back, the ice disaster, freezing.
Age of this crew, 72 years old. They wanted to save one of the relics from World War II, the so-called LST, the loading ship tanks. There were 1,100 of them made back in World War II. They were going out of operation, out of service. They were disappearing from the world, and so they found one over in Greece. They salvaged it, they fixed it, and they set off from Crete about 2 months ago, bound for the USA. Well, crossing the Mediterranean, they ran into trouble, engine went down, they had to stop in Gibraltar, fixed it. After about 2 weeks, they set sail across the Atlantic, and after about 3 weeks, they made it to the Bahamas. In the Bahamas, they were greeted by the U.S. ambassador, a number of the curious as well. They fixed a hole in the ship as well there. They picked up some produce, they picked up some oil, and we're told they picked up a case of beer. And then once again, they set off through the Florida Keys into the Gulf, and now, in about 2 hours, we're told they will be here in the Mobile River, Mobile Harbor. They will be greeted here by family and friends who've been worried, as you might expect. Again, when you're 72 years old and you're in a 60-year-old ship that the Coast Guard said was probably not seaworthy, they were concerned. But these men have made it. They will be here within a couple of hours. Now, the LSTs, some have referred to as the backbone of the Normandy invasion. These were large ships, about 325 feet long. They carried tanks, they carried artillery, they carried men, they carried railroad cars even. They would simply float up to shore, open their doors, and let these tanks out, let the men out. 1,100 of them made back during World War II, but afterwards they were more or less considered obsolete. They were lent out, they were sold to other nations, but most of them were decommissioned. One of them, LST325, was located in Greece, as I said. These men salvaged it, they fixed it with their own time, their own money, and now after a 4,350-mile journey across the Mediterranean, across the Atlantic, into the Gulf, they are coming home, and they hope to make this LST325 a permanent museum here in Mobile. Carol, we're expecting them within about 2 hours.
Oh, great. And a big congratulations to them when they come into port. All the better since they were told they couldn't do it. All right, well, just goes to show. Hopefully they're sailing with clear skies. Let's go to Dave Hannon for the check on the weather. Hi, Dave.
Good morning, Carol. One of the few
is a landing ship that arrived in Mobile, Alabama this morning. The boat and others like it were used to ferry U.S. troops at beaches in Normandy. And the crew of vets sailed it from Greece against the advice of the Coast Guard, who said it was unsafe. One of the crew members is 74-year-old Dominic Perruso from Price Township, Monroe County. The ship will be used as a floating memorial and museum in honor of the LST vets. In Washington, President Clinton was on hand for the unveiling of a new statue.
To so many that some of them are not widely known, even now, more than 55 years after that war ended. But for some tough old sailors, one more mission is all they wanted, even though almost everyone thought this one was too daring, too dangerous. But tonight, mission completed. Here's NBC's Bob Fall.
Talk about feeling young again. For this 58-year-old relic, LST for Landing Ship Tank 325, its crew of relics, average age 72, even for several thousand people who welcomed them back, this homecoming after 5,200 miles and 54 days at sea was special.
I just admire this crew for coming back. I'm just so proud of them, I'm about to bust.
Four wives of the 28 crewmen, like Dottie Perruso, married 27 years to Dominic. The return was a sweet triumph.
Get down here so I can give you a hug and a kiss. I'll take your dirt and all.
Sweet triumph, too, for the vessel that earned 2 battle stars in World War II, under murderous fire, ferrying troops and tanks during the D-Day invasion, before it was decommissioned and given to the Greek Navy. So valiant, LST vets like 76-year-old Ed Strobel and Bruce Vogus, 74, scraped together $70,000 and spent months in Greece working to get this vessel ship-shape.
They're rocky, they give you a rough ride, and they love you.
Its final 4,200 miles across the Atlantic captured on home video